Good afternoon. Back here with TB. It's Friday afternoon, the 26th, I believe. Okay, if my thinking is correct, what we're going to do here, I'm setting up this one, a carbon arrow. I'm going to show you how you can do that. You should use feel heads. You don't even have to have this if you're going to use a broadhead. But I suggest using feel heads. We'll screw this off, and I'll be right back with a feel head for a demonstration. This is a broadhead that's lost one of its fins, but I was just going to do a demonstration with how to set it, how you can set you up a fishing setup that will work. All this is a safety pin out of my kit, and I've got a whole bunch of them. You could carry your safety pin inside your pocket or inside a pouch, preferable so they don't sticky. But just a second and I'll be right back. I was going after the feel heads. Like I was saying before, while you're in civilization at home or wherever, if you've got access to getting your stuff now made up, I'd suggest you get it made now. If you need ammo, buy it now, because there may come a day when you won't be able to get it. I suggest a reloading machine at best anyway, and extra powder for whatever, and dyes for whatever type caliber weapon you're going to be using to hunt and survive with. Now for starters, on this setup, I'm going to show you what I did to make the gig in order to get your fish. Now that's my fishing hook there. You can fish with a cane pole or whatever. You can even make you a cane pole that you can put a reel on. It's not so hard. In fact, I've seen it done different times. I never did do it, but you can do it. I've seen it on video up there. You see these here pins? All it is a diaper pin, clothespin. It opens like this. You just cut these ends off and the head off from it. And then, I got a whole bunch of them from the dollar store. $1 for all them, and I imagine I got somewhere around 100 or so in there. And all you got to do is clip it off on each side about even and bend it down beside your arrow shaft. I'm not going to cut another right now. I just don't want to fool with that, but I can. It's not hard. Then to widen this, I use it so that it will fit that up over this lip of your arrow. I just want you to see this. That's got to slip all the way up on there snugly. See that? Now it went up on your metal head there on this one. We're talking about using a carbon shaft here. And I'll get to the wooden ones and others in a minute. Now what I do here, well, we should have done that. I didn't do. Big dummy. Let me screw this back off. Okay, you put you a loop on your string here, what I would do, and then tighten that down just with a slip knot. It's about all it amounts to. As long as it's tight, as long as it don't lose your fish, you want to get that snug. And then you just twist that up there snug and tighten that feel head up. Now, you can use a broadhead on that instead of using this. You don't need this if you're going to use the broadhead, because that broadhead will stick in that fish and probably hold him anyway. But this is the best way, and it won't tear him up as bad as a broadhead. Because you don't want to tear up your main meat off that fish right in the flank. You know what I'm saying. You don't want to mess up your fish. Now what you can do here is pull this back here tight. And you want this to be straight as possible. Let me try to get it down the feathers. And what I do, I come around the groove just a little bit. Some people don't, but this way I do it. Then I twist it around as tight as I can, again, and wrap it if I can. Well, I'm going to try this and get it tied off here. It's best to, I'm going to come around this way, and then I'm going to come around again, but I'm wanting to get it to slip right down like this. No, that didn't work. It's a half tie. I'm going to try to get it tighter. You want it snug enough that it don't slip back down the deal and back down your shaft. Hang on a second. Sometimes it takes me a minute or so to get this done. Really, the best way is to pull this out, but I can't because I glued the shaft in here because I got tired of these tips coming off. But you should tie them right there. But in my case, I can't do that, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap it around there, and I want to pull it right through itself here with a slip knot of a sort, some kind of knot that'll hold. That's the main thing, so it don't come loose, and you want to be able to keep the torque on that line, because when your fish is on, or you shoot that air out down there, it's going to ride right down there, and you want this string to be as straight down the line as possible. Now I'm going to do that again and tie it off again. Now there's plenty of room in that knot to tie it that way. Now you shouldn't do it that way, but it is a way to do it quick if your knock is already affixed like a wooden arrow would be. Now some of these tips like this, your knocks will pull out, but I glued these in with super glue, so they're not going to pull out. I got tired of them coming off, but that's the reason I can't demonstrate it that way. Now you see what I got there? Check that out. Now I can turn that string any way I want if it's not straight, and it's not evidently. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it's straight. Pretty straight. I can move it a little bit if I have to, loosen this up enough to turn that string to straighten it up. You want it to be straight down that shaft as you can get it, straight as you can get it. Next, what you'll do, little demonstration here, you can also use a homemade arrow. Oh, just a minute, I gotta check my fire. Be right back. So y'all hang on. I got cooking stuff going on over there. I forgot to let that grease get too hot, and I gotta get it off there. I'm gonna cook some stuff here in a minute, but I don't want it right this minute. Had the grease hot enough to cook all right. Smoking a little bit. I'm going to shut that down so I won't draw so much. I want to keep the heat on my chicken there. I'm cooking some chicken in an old fry pan. It's kind of like a pressure cooker. This will keep the heat in. I'll tell you what I put in that wood cook stove. It's just one of them fire logs right there. Yeah, this is one of those Pine Mountain. It's supposed to be a 4-hour log. Well, I did stick a piece of oak in there with it, but it's pretty hot, and I think that's going to do my cooking right quick. I mean, it's supposed to hold for up to 4 hours, one of them logs. I don't know if it will or not. Okay, but back to our arrow series. Making a fishing arrow right now, and then I'm going to show you how that I make a homemade arrow out of a driveway stake. And I can demonstrate how I made some out of. See, here's another one already rigged up for fishing, or I can take that off there and hunt with it. But all you have to have is some fishing line. I like to use bank line because it's heavy enough. This is 80 test pound fish. You ain't gonna get a fish bigger than 80 pounds. No, probably not a gigging. You might, but I doubt it. But this is using the carbon shafts. These are aluminum carbon from Walmart arrows. And you can change those tips out if you want to hunt with them. Go back to your broadheads or your fieldheads. Still got your fieldheads there, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, here's another one that I've tied. This is a fiberglass arrow. Now, I glued this in here. I took a SKS, let me get it up here close, an SKS shell and glued it on over the end of this. Then I drilled a hole through there to fit this. Then I super glued that in there too. And now, or I used 8 glue on that one, excuse me. But either way, super glue, 8 glue, either one will hold it. Then the safety pin rig is still there. And this string, as you can see, that will ride right down it when it comes out of your sling bow. This one's rigged up for a sling bow though. See the bulb on the back? I can't use that on an arrow, but it'll work off my sling bow. And this one will work off the sling bow too, because I have the Pathfinder's string patch. It's got a patch or a string. You can use either one of these styles in their setup. I like that. That's another reason I should have mentioned that yesterday about the Pathfinder Pocket Fisherman kit, fisher or hunter kit. I really like it.